and fighting for the cause of the farmers, fishermen, and the workers. It is historically recorded.
Question. Where did the pork barrel of Sibak go to?
Well, I'm not related to Sibak party list.
Okay.
And my son Joel is the president of Sibak party list, I think, with Congresswoman, what's the name of the woman? Chona Gonzalez. Oh, Attorney Ted, are you a member of Sibak party list? I understand you are one of the lawyers or not?
Consulted also.
Yeah. So I understand that they have so many projects all over the Philippines, but their handicap is that they are not in the administration. That's why Joel's problem is he is not receiving the pork barrel as being received by the administration congressmen. But despite of the handicap, they're doing great things. Thousands of scholars helping hospitals in different provinces through their creative and resourceful, I would say, leadership. But I'm not privy to anything about the Sibak party list.
My question is, how do you see education, and if you become our president, what will your education policy be?
Education will be my #1 priority. I used to be the longest serving university regent of the biggest people's university, the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. And I know by heart the sufferings of the poor students. That's why once we have the political power, we will change the priorities of the so-called government's budget. #1 is education. Why? According to Millennial Goal Commission of the United Nations, the budget for education should not be less than 6% in the ratio of GDP of the said country. But sad to say, the Philippines budget vis-a-vis the GDP ratio is only more or less 2%. I was informed last year, 2%. Imagine that. And I'm a product of public school. I was forced to stop in my first semester in UP because my parents were victims of land grabbing syndicate. They could not give me transportation fare. That's why I went to UE and eventually to PCC. That's where I met the great grandfather of Carlo, the former labor secretary who used to be one of the professors in PCC. And I finished my economics and finance education in PCC.
But it's cheaper in UP.
Sad to say, PCC today, PUP today, has 62,000 students with with branches in 27 provinces, or 27 provinces. But you know the budget of PUP is just more than 600 million. More than 600 million, not even 1 billion. But UP, I love also UP because I stayed there during my college of law education. UP has with only more or less 30,000 students, but UP is enjoying already more than 6 billion budget every year, plus 1 billion grants from abroad. So more than 7 billion. To me, it is still lacking because UP is the premier university in our country, and we should give more budget to UP. But we should not neglect the state colleges and universities. Once we are elected, the first thing that we'll do is we will stop corruption in the Department of Education. It was already exposed by the media, shocking corruption. in Department of Education, even in the production of textbooks containing erroneous data. And every province should enjoy one state university with world-class facilities. Why? If we are serious in rebuilding our nation, we should give emphasis in producing a generation of well-educated Filipinos. I read an article a few months ago. With the kind of system we have, it is much easier for the Philippines to produce an integrated steel mills than in producing a generation of educated Filipinos. If we will not really change and transform and overhaul educational system in the Philippines, 20 years from now, the Philippines will be known could be known not only as the most corrupt country in Asia, but even the most illiterate in Asia. And I am afraid that may happen. That's why priorities in budgeting is a must. And to me, education is a must.
Follow up to that. What is the curriculum that will be most emphasized under the new, if you have an educational reform? Specific to the curriculum.
Yeah, we have also to overhaul the curriculum. And we have to emphasize courses, sciences, engineering, of course, history, culture. We will restore emphasis on the study of history and culture, because a nation will never be great without developing the keen sense of history and rekindling the Filipino culture. And also, of course, engineering and other courses which are really urgently needed in strengthening the domestic market demand of our economy, not just to satisfy the demands of other countries outside the Philippines. We have really to have a total overhauling of our educational system. Modesty aside, I'm a founder of JIL Colleges Foundation with branches in 29 provinces. Our desire is to offer high-quality education within the reach of the masses per people, but we cannot really afford to educate millions of people. And when I was a regent, a university regent in PUP, 50,000 were applying for entrance examination. Only 5,000 are being accepted because of lack of budget, lack of facilities, lack of professors. And this has been going on not only in PUP, but even in other state colleges, universities all over the Philippines. Because there is a state college in Tanay Rizal, the president confessed to me that even their budget was reduced by 4 million this year. And they could not believe they are already suffering from shortage of budget. So there is dysfunctional system in the allocation of budget. That's why I believe politics, the traditional politics, should not intervene in prioritizing the much awaited development and progress of the nation.
Are you going to bring back English as the medium of instruction?
Of course, we have to teach. We have to. I forgot to include English language, without sacrificing, of course, our Filipino language. We have to teach the Filipino people, especially the students, not only our national language but also English, because we all know that the competition in the global setting is very keen, and English-speaking people are already, I would say, enjoying advantages. So I don't belong to ultra, what we call this, with due respect to them, ultra nationalists, that we should ban all kinds of foreign teachings. I'm always trying to be balanced. What is important is the future of the nation.
Yeah, because right now we have a heavy need for English-based outsourcing, and so many of our Filipino writers